Hi everyone, just thought I'd actually just let me check. Sorry, I don't think I had any volume on that. Just thought I'd make an update. I know it's been a very long time. Hope everyone's well. Still been watching some videos along the way, not probably as committed to them as what I was last year, but still sort of looking at everyone's updates. So I just wanted to say a big congratulations to everyone to everyone that's got their BFP, to those of you that are pregnant. Brandy, thank you for the sweet message, honey. I just received, and that's what kind of inspired me to get on here and do a bit of an update. So wishing you all the best. Yeah, so nothing really much has happened, not much change. Things have happened, and I'll sort of try and run through those. Hopefully, get this video going over. But no, not pregnant. The most, I guess, recent things that have happened. We're still trying, but we're not really trying, if you know what I mean. I'm not temping. I'm not really doing it. Every now and again, I'll check my temperature. I ordered in a heap of OPKs and stuff, but I just keep forgetting to use them. So I'm kind of a little bit over it, and not in a negative way. I desperately want to have a baby, but I'm over stressing about it, and you know, again, as usual, it seems like there's been people just pregnant all around me and having babies, and you know, I'm really happy for them, but it gets harder. Yeah, so what's been happening with us? Well, I think if you've probably watched all my other videos, you know that I've got PCOS, we've also had a male factor issue that was tested many years ago, and the count came back as really low. And ever since then, this was probably about 7 years ago, ever since then, I've been too scared for him to go and get tested again because I just didn't want to know. But he did go and get tested in January, just after Christmas, and his test results came back fantastic. Doctor had one look at him, just a normal GP, and I've got all the reports here, and they were all within the ranges. Everything was fine. The count was actually quite high, as in I think average is 20 mil or over. His was 39 million per mil, and you know, motility, morphology, everything was within range, like it was good. So that came back, and I was like relieved and thinking, oh my God, I've wasted all these years thinking that there's a big, massive problem, and maybe there really isn't, and maybe it is all just subconsciously, you know, I'm just stressing and it's not happening, and whatever, maybe it's all in my head. So that was great. Now, the lab that he went and got tested at was just a local general lab. It wasn't actually an andrology lab. It wasn't one that specialises in sperm assessments. Anyway, so then a few months later, I finally got an appointment with a fertility specialist, which was through the public system. So I'd been on the waiting list for some time, not because I can't afford to go privately. I mean, I can and I am going to now go privately, but because I was sort of not in a massive hurry, and I thought, you know, we'd still have a chance of it naturally and so forth, I didn't really pressure to go and see someone. So I just waited till the appointment came about, and it did. And I've got to keep an eye on this time. And yeah, so we finally went and saw this doctor who ordered a whole heap of tests, one of which included another semen analysis. For myself, I've had PCOS since I was 18. Every time I went and got everything tested, it's always come back with PCOS. And I've got, you know, in regards to the symptoms, like I get the facial hair, my weight is a lot in my stomach, which is a common symptom with PCOS. Obviously, just the weight itself, weight gain. So, you know, I've always had the test results have always come back. There was, I think, in 2005, I did have an internal ultrasound, and it showed minimal to no follicles on one ovary and very minimal follicles on the other ovary. So that would have probably been indicating that it wasn't too bad. I think I'd lost a bit of weight then, so that probably helped. But yeah, so this time around, you know, with same symptoms, the only thing I've done differently is I've pretty much switched our diets again. We've gone back to a pretty full paleo. I've had some bad moments. I really have had some bad moments since. So I wouldn't say that I've fully converted over. But majority I have converted over. And before I went and had my ultrasound and all my blood tests done for the PCOS, I had been like a good month, solid month of eating paleo. So very like no grains, low carb, but not intentionally low carb just because of the way you eat. You know, when you're eating mainly just meats, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, you're eating low carb anyway. So I think that balanced my blood sugars quite a bit, which probably balanced my hormones. So got all those tests done. We went back and saw the specialist, who I wasn't too keen with to start with, and I'm really not keen with it all now, and you'll soon find out why. But we went and saw the specialist. And first thing, he looked at all my results and told me, no, according to him, I don't have any PCOS. Now, the ultrasounds came back with 11 follicles, so the string of pearls, the follicles on one side, and 10 on the other. And according to him, even though that was after I'd apparently ovulated, that was just normal to have that many follicles in your ovaries. And because my hormones came back okay, within range, I don't have PCOS. How the hell do you have PCOS, being diagnosed with something like that since you're 18, and just because you happen to get one good lot of hormone blood test results come back, all of a sudden, even though there's cysts there, there's facial hair, there's everything you can think of, I don't have PCOS. Anyway, so that was one thing that I didn't like about him. Second thing was, now this sperm test that my husband done this time was done at a proper andrology lab. So apparently they're more stricter, but it doesn't mean that the last lab were, a bunch of 5-year-olds counting the sperm. It was still a proper lab that it was done at. But this one came back with the count still being actually quite high, considering, we've always thought he was going to have a low count because that one many years ago was very, very low. Count still came back way over 30 million, but this time the morphology was 98%. So 98% were abnormal. Stupid doctor just turned around and said, your only option is IVF with ICSI. And I'm like, well, hang on, you're telling me that I haven't got any issues, and we've got this bad sperm test result, but we had a fantastic one only 6 months ago. My husband has been smoking for the last 6 months, so could that be the reason as to why the test results have come back so bad this time round? Shouldn't we at least test it one more time or do something just, before jumping to conclusions? And he was like, well, no, you've been trying for so long. Let's face it, if you haven't fallen pregnant in 10 years. And I'm like, well, we haven't been trying for 10 years for one. We have tried a month here and there during the 10 years, but I've always then given up. So this is the first time that we've been trying consistently. Anyway, so he was adamant that he reckons IVF with ICSI. That shattered me. That shattered my husband. That was, for me, the worst case scenario, being told that. I would have much rather have gone in there and being told, you know what, your polycystic ovaries is bad. We need to put you on Clomid. We need to do this. We need to do that. And my husband, I would have rather my husband be fine, just for his own ego as well, I guess. It's hard for a guy. But I'm not taking that result as the be all and end all. I don't believe it. Like, for whatever reason, it's disappointing, and I am worried about it. But I'm not about to give in and say, well, that's it. That one test result means that's it. He's got no chance. It's just bullshit. Anyway, sorry, it really pissed me off. Yes, so just recently we went to another IVF seminar, I hadn't been to one before. And by the way, this doctor was an IVF doctor as well. So my husband thinks that, at the end of the day, he's in it for the money as well. I mean, obviously, I'm sure he enjoys what he does and probably gets a lot of satisfaction out of seeing couples have children that otherwise couldn't have, but he's also there to sell something. So my husband really thinks that the fact that he didn't, there's nothing else was done. They didn't, opt to check my tubes and make sure that everything was okay there. They didn't he didn't suggest doing another semen analysis just to make sure that hadn't been done when he was maybe had an infection or wasn't well. My husband and I, because we both took up smoking this year, which was stupid, but we both haven't smoked for 4 months now. So, 4 months of non-smoking, surely his sperm results would be better. Anyway, so many things go through my mind. So I went to this IVF seminar just a few weeks ago, and we spoke to another doctor there, and it was only a seminar, so I just gave him a brief rundown of our statistics, and he asked me my age, and when I told him, he goes, I'd be doing IVF as a very last resort. He goes, you still would have by rights a 2% chance every month, which is not huge, but you still have a chance every month of it happening naturally. He said, but I'd want to exhaust all other measures in regards to, checking my tubes, doing further semen analysis, Clomid, whatever. There are people that I've watched their videos that are on Clomid that haven't even been diagnosed with PCOS. It's like, I've had PCOS for so long and no one's even given me Clomid. Give me Clomid, for God's sakes. What's the problem? Anyway, so I'm trying to rush this because I do not want it to be a 2 video, especially, I suppose there's a lot to tell you since I haven't been on here for nearly a year. I don't know what cycle this is. I know that we've been trying since May last year, I think it was. So well over a year and a half with no success. I don't know. I know that it's after, I'm sure I've ovulated last week, but again, I'm not really tracking that. When I have kind of checked my temps though, I'm finding that doesn't sound like my temperature is rising. I don't check it every morning, but every now and again I'll just test it, and I haven't found it to be rising, and I'm really starting to wonder if I'm actually ovulating or not. progesterone, I think, when he did the day 21 test, that was on the side that indicates that I ovulated, but on the very low side of ovulation. So that was another thing I mentioned to this idiot. I said to him, oh, could I have like a luteal phase defect? Because I know when I was tracking, I'd ovulate on day 15 and then sometimes get my period on day 22 or 23 or 24, which is not long enough if you even conceive for a baby to implant. He laughed at me. He goes, no, that's highly unlikely. I'm thinking, okay, it's highly unlikely. All right, whatever. So, yeah, not impressed with him. I now need to get a referral to this new doctor, but again, for some reason, I'm not in a hurry for that. I'm 33 next month, so I know that I shouldn't be putting it off any longer, but I just want it to happen naturally, and I'm sure, as we all do. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I'm putting it off. It's not the money. If we had to go do IVF, it's not the money that's concerning me. I think it's just the emotional commitment that's really worrying me. But yeah, so that's where we're at with the whole baby thing. For the rest of life, nothing really much different. We're thinking of maybe organising a holiday to Thailand next year for a good couple of weeks, just for a break. We haven't had a break for a very, very long time, and we've had a lot of stress with the issues that we've had with our home, which I believe are now hopefully, well, it looks better. They've patched everything up. We'll see if we don't have any further problems. I think I mentioned that in the last post as well. We had a lot of movement when we had the rains, and it's a new house, but yeah. So yeah, that's kind of a quick update. I'm sitting on 11.5 minutes. I might end it here. I'm not going to promise that I'm going to get on here and make a regular update in the near future, because I probably won't. But know that I do still watch most of your videos. Congratulations to all of you. Melissa, Brandy, Leanna May. Gosh, there's so many, and I'm so happy. Just congratulations to all of you. And baby dust to all of you that are out there still trying as well. Hopefully next year will be our year. I mean, you know, fall pregnant this year and have our babies next year, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, just thought I'd make a quick update. I hope everyone's keeping well, and yeah, I look forward to watching the rest of your videos as well. So take care, everyone. All right, bye.